We go full NASCAR on this truck today. Couple key items on your 12-valve build that you should not skip over when you got a donor project like this. Complete everything drivetrain wise is coming out of this 97 12-valve and it's going to go in my 66 crew cab D200 Dodge build. And I think I got all the tools I need except for the phone magnet right here. We're going to rip apart front main. We're start right off the bat. Killer dowel pin, front main seal, time to cover gasket. Those have to be addressed on any 12-valve when you first grab it if you do not know they've been taken care of. So we're going to do that. Next one is unfortunate, not leaking, but not going to risk since we got it, you know, no cab on it. The tappet cover or push rod gasket. Seal. It holds stuff from leaking. That's what it is. Seal gasket combo kit. That's what. Yeah, we're going to check that out. And we also have simple but annoying, easy to get to right now, vacuum pump gasket seal kit combo thing. So we're going to take that apart. First, let's see if I got enough tools out. I'm going to keep you in real time and not edit this. Except for I'm going to get a pair of gloves because I squished my finger earlier messing with the swamp cooler. That hurt. 3 minutes. We'll see if we can keep you guys in touch. First thing is I'm going to get the fan belt off. Without squeezing my fingers. That's going to give us access to a couple other things. Mainly this one it's shot. It went sideways on the belt, so she's not in good shape. Next thing we're going to go ahead and get after. You've got to have your special tool, the 10mm. Little guy, so you can get down into this little crappy bolt. Whoever worked on this last got her tight. Very tight. 4 bolts. 3 of them are super easy to get to. 4th one, it's not, but we'll get to it. With this that little wrench that you never want to, keep because you never use it. But that's what this one's perfect for. Call it the Slim Jim secret tool. Long-winded, but you can only get a 3/4 stroke. That's way easier when the whole truck isn't in your way. You know what I mean? Make sure you record it. We're just gonna go Hail Mary prayer on it. Bring you up in close. I know you guys probably can't hear me back there with 16 coolers trying to keep me alive, but you got to do what you got to do. 15mm. Take this hum mark, balancer off. Boom, boom. Now hopefully that thing's not going to fight us. I did put a hammer on the bench, so we'll have to use my foot this time. There we go. Game off. That front has been leaking. Next one, we got a 13mm. Oh, you know what I didn't put on the bench? Was the deep 10. I thought that, oh wait, never mind. I did. You guys thought I was slipping, huh? Now, if you've taken as many of these apart as I have, you'll have this down pretty much packed. Long stud to hold the RPM magnet sensor Joe Bobber on there. But then once you already got the 10 on there, you can just zip the rest of those off. But we want to get this out of the way before we forget. 5/8. Might be a 15, but this will do it. Quick spin that old girl out of the way. You can hit it with an 8, but I didn't grab that because you don't need to. So I don't lose this one because I always do. I'm going to put it back right there. Get that out of the way. Don't need to, but we will. Ooh. What in the world kind of sludge do we have dumped in this thing? Oh, that hopefully that doesn't come back to haunt us. The oil looked fine. Keep them straight, keep them straight. Oh, that one's kind of tight. Man, I know a head gasket's been done on this rig. Let's see if the killer dowel pin was done at the same-ish time, or previous, afterwards, maybe later. That's my honest opinion when I'm cracking these bolts loose. I don't like to hear them go da-da-da-da. Aluminum on some of them, the other, there's some going to the block. That one's aluminum for the housing. Last bolt, I believe. That means somebody's really put the reef on it. Killer dowel pin has not been addressed, but it is still in there, so thank heavens to that. Now, the guy that did the mechanic work on this truck before I bought it from the last owner seemed to be pretty top notch, but the fact that that was skipped is reckless. How long did that take me? Not that long, I don't think. It's been 7 minutes total video. Huh. Pretty good, pretty good. Instead of spending $100 to buy a new killer dowel pin, which I don't need for the, I got the original in there. I didn't need to replace it while this is all out. So I just got the heavy hitters. Wouldn't spend $100 at Napa because eBay takes a while for the same gasket. So we keep this ball rolling. We'll swap this out. Ice in my sweet tea's melting faster than my hat did. Thank God for the Porta-Cool. Keeps it somewhat okay in here. But I'm gonna go ahead and put you guys on time lapse. I'm gonna see if I can wiggle out the Tappet cover without pulling the pump. Because if I can do that, it's gonna save a tremendous amount of time, effort, energy, everything. Never done it. We'll find out. Well, we had to go the distance. Unfortunate. Oh, rust on them studs. Doesn't appear that it was leaking. If it wasn't leaking right now, it would be leaking as soon as we fired the truck up when it was all built. But look at this. This is probably one of the betters I've seen. It didn't break as soon as I looked at it. You see how brittle? Good for nothing. Still better in this condition right now as it is than Amazon Tappet cover gasket, because those things are junk. Ask me, I know. Thought you're saving money. You're not. You're wasting your life because you have to pull it all back apart as soon as you put that junk on there. But check this out. This is a neat modification that 200 and some odd thousand miles on this truck, 225. And check this out. Still got the original insulation on it. For now, she's cooked and ugly. I'm gonna take it out there where I took the vacuum pump to the degreaser machine, aka pressure washer with goop all over it. Boop. Precision punch pusher. It's a tool. Boom, boom. We're after that seal right there. This right here is your vacuum pump housing, connection, adapter, majigger bob. That's the pump right there. The seal right here is for your oil supply to be stopped so it doesn't go. It's just for this right here. It's supposed to lube the shaft, but it'll go out here and drip all over the place like this one was. So we just got to smash that seal out right there, put an O-ring. It's like a $30-something kit for it's stupid, but has to be done or else we got an oil leak. Old one out, old O-ring out, new one in, installed, and don't forget to put your coupler in there. Got one more O-ring that goes right there. I'm gonna get this cleaned out just a touch more, and this little fiasco's got 2 bolts. This thing's done. She is cleaned off. New gasket in there. Felpro went black. I don't know what happened. They used to be blue. They don't like the Blue Man Group, I'm guessing. Let's get that ass. I'll go back through and hand tighten that, but there was no way I was gonna probably get that thing out without spending more time than it took just to pull the pump. That's just the way she goes sometimes. Where's my wrench? I was about to take this outside and pressure wash it, but she shot. All right, killer dowel pin prevention kit installed. Red Loctite, the works. Now, like I was just saying, I was like, man, maybe I'll go ahead and bump the timing up on this thing. What you do is get her all timed in. You do not attach, i.e. do not tighten down the nut for your injection pump until you back this up 4 degrees. And the timing marks, I timed it, clocked it in so that the injection pump was on top dead center 1. So this thing's already been retarded a little bit. So somebody's already advanced the time. That's how you advance it. You advance the pump by retarding the engine. That's just, it's easier to do that way, if it makes sense. So we're already there. Yeah. I might double check that. I'm gonna double check that. I ain't gonna trust somebody else's work because I think they busted off the dang pin right there. So I can't find TDC that way. I gotta do it with that. Yeah, I mean, they're the same, whatever. You do up there, you can do there, or the pin's there. Guaranteed. There's no slop in the pin unless it's broken off like it is. Did you go up in the truck? Oh man. Come here. Don't keep on that truck. Well, say hi to the camera. Everybody wants to see the camera. There he is. He's a big kid. Anyway, feed pump's back in there. The heart of and soul of the thing's back in there. Boy came down and said it's time to go eat some dinner, so intermission, we'll be back. Well, it's that time to time it. It's time to timing. I got this on here, it's magnet. It's an expensive kit from Power Driven Diesel, but they make it easy for you. So, bought once, cried once, whatever that thing is. So, come on in here, I'll show you how to do this. I've been asked this a bunch of times. There's a bunch of videos on it, but I'm here, I'm doing it now. Let's throw it into a video. So, put your magnet on the front. Like I said earlier, you need to retard the engine to advance the timing. How that makes sense is because your pump is going to stay on time. So by turning the engine backwards, it's essentially putting the pump forwards. It all lines up. Now, your stock 12 valves around 14 degrees, give or take, somewhere in there, advanced. throw a couple degrees at it, it's not going to really make much difference. Sweet spot, in theory, for your bone stock, nothing really going on. This one's got a different turbo on it, and I think the injectors have been messed with. But given the fact that it looked like it was already timed before, we're just going to take it 4 more degrees, advanced. That's a rule of thumb, simple way to do it. But I like Ryan Dungey a lot. That's my boy. So I think we're going to go with 5. So I got my boring tool back there and the adapter plate. It's basically a starter is what it is. So we're going to turn this backwards, so let's make sure we're going the right way. We got a little wire stuck right here. Right there, 5 degrees. Done deal, slam dunk. I'll re-verify that my injection pump is still where it's supposed to be. There's a inspection, I'll show you. There's a timing tool right here. You pull this out, you flip it around, but you can also verify by looking up in there and see this little armature coming down. If you see the armature right dead center, you put your tool on there, and here, let's check it. Because I got it where it's supposed to be. Your tool normally sits in there like this, metal side up, flip it over and it becomes a little 2-barrel pitchfork. And you should be able to stab this thing up in there, and if it's right, you can rotate it and you'll feel it slide down onto that little armature. And it is. By the way, once you pull that off, you produce about like a gallon of oil all over your floor, so careful. Another thing is, since we're where we need to be, gonna go ahead and take that back out, flip it over where it needs to be stowed, because it'll just break that plastic thing off in there like I was talking about with the hootenanny up and the flutenanny up in the top over there. There's all kinds of stuff. Like when I say the P-Pump 12 valve is just as simple as it gets, like yeah, my confidence on one of these things is pretty dang high. Because they just never want to quit. Unless you're my grandmother, she'll drive the hell out of hers until it dies and then they'll come back around. Yeah, anyway. We'll take the Hummarnic balancer back off. Make sure when you put your gear back on here, you clean every little bit of grease and everything you can off of that. Or else if you're really throwing some RPM or some power or loading up the engine, i.e. if your engine is at all turned up, that will slip on there if you haven't really got her juiced to the moon. So just FYI, careful. Point out something right here. Why would you advance the timing on one of these? Why not just throw more fuel at it? Well, you can throw a bunch of fuel at it and that's going to compute to a bunch of black smoke out the back, which is, you know, no problem. Eventually the turbo will kick in and you'll have power. But if you advance the timing like I just did, honestly, it reduces the smoke. Side effect unfortunate. But it also gains a bunch of power. It turns it into a little ripper just by doing that right there. So if you want to have kind of a tow rig, you know, if you're not going to be towing all the time, you don't really, that doesn't matter. But if you're going to be towing, this will stretch your power band a little extra. Governor springs, injectors, fuel plate, all that computes. But doing the timing helps a lot. Now on your first gen Cummins and your 24 valve Cummins, the keyway actually does something. This, nothing. So it's a tapered fit gear. It can go on any which way but loose. And I just really like to send her home with a little bit of extra sauce in there. That way I don't have to worry about it. I still have my keyway in back there. Where's the big gun? I believe the torque spec on this is 110 to 120 foot-pounds. I go to 130, which is, the gun can do way more than that, so I'll get the torque wrench out. You don't want that going nowhere. I've only had this slip one time. 97 12 valve, rebuilt the transmission on it, Took the injection pump off, did what I just did today. Tappet cover leaking like a sieve. And well, hopped on the freeway. Old man was running with me, just rolling coal on somebody behind me. He had a kick out of it, so I gave her some more. It popped, engine died. Actually, compression started an automatic. Weirdest thing ever. Put it in neutral, coasted, threw it back and get fired back up, whatever that means. And limped it about a quarter mile to the next exit. By the time pulled over and lifted the hood, I've never seen a turbo and a manifold that level of heat, hot. It was like once orange turns to white, that's where it was. And that thing was a hard starter after that. Freak that old fat boy Slim. Come on, give me what I'm looking for. Apparently we're already at 130. Give a little extra. Just don't go till it breaks, that'll be a problem. Just takes a second to get it settled in. It's like a traffic cone, tapered. Let that sit and then we'll grab the other thing. Oh, I forgot to put a nut on. Where's the 15? Goes right here. I don't remember. Where is the 15 though? Support bracket, you want to have that aluminum housing. Don't let her go loose. This bolt hole right here is for a shorty. Put the long guy on here. Why? Easier to line stuff up. Make sure you got your gasket on there. I always like to test my luck and make sure that seal didn't roll over. So I pull it off almost all the way. We're good to go. All right, now, another thing you don't want to skip, I'm going to throw this in the video. 5th gear nut. We're going to pull this part back, check that. The last mechanic said it was never done, but it's got 250,000 miles. Maybe don't worry about it. No, never skip stuff. We're going to check that. But we can see into the clutch just barely in there. You guys can't tell with the phone angle. Let me see if I can get you better light. Just a little something. Maybe. Probably not. Look at that, the inspection, whatever BS sticker is still on it. And I don't want to go out on a limb and say it's a Valve or South Bend, but it's got the font that they normally have. And I know this clutch, they said it had been changed, and this thing's making more than stock horsepower. Stock clutch does not hold more than stock horsepower. Anyway, let's get this popped off, see. She was loose. Alright, now we gotta make sure she runs. Save the fire up for you guys, don't worry. Brought you in close. I think everything's about to fire off. Whoa. Point out one thing, if you mess with the timing, you will have to mess with your idle screw. So this thing fired right back up, sends to me that the idle's been turned up already. So You know how it goes when you're rotating your distributor, you're advancing it, it's slowing down the engine, retarding it, it's speeding it, you know the deal. You retard it too much, it'll start to ping. You don't want that. But anyway, it's already been adjusted, so I know this thing's already been tuned on. that will never get old. And on that note, she's back running. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Hit them buttons, like this video, share it, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Addressed multiple issues. Theoretically, this is one step closer putting the cab on. I got a couple other details I'd like to check out on the transmission. I gotta make some phone calls, but I mean, that honestly was probably the best turnaround time all around for all of that. Now, obviously, having the cab and everything off of it helps a lot, but getting her fired back up, getting her bled primed, all that. It's dusty in here, just my right eye. Smoke maybe. It primed right back up, so I'm pretty happy about that. You said a little bit of blow-by coming out here. It's a 12 valve. I don't care. They all kind of have a little bit. The thing's got 250,000 miles on it, and it's, shoot, 25 years old. But we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.